I tell people all the time, I tell parents specifically that, you know, good is okay, and you can't really throw and force your opinions and your ideas on your kids. Let them figure it out, but don't tell them that they can't do anything. And if they don't win, that doesn't mean that they're a loser. I say that they're a loser if they don't try and get back in there and do their very best. So everyone's very best may not be the Olympic Games. That was my very best. But it may not be someone else's very best, but they have to remember that it is a big world out there.
And by the nature of the event, not everybody's going to be there.
No.
I mean, you know, there are a lot of fine athletes that I can think of over the years that I've coached and I've met and know of here from the Lehigh Valley who went on but, you know, when it gets to that level, it's a big world out there. And, you know, when you start talking about running and jumping and all these other things, I mean, there's a lot of other people out there that do the same thing from other parts of the world.
Right, and everybody's not going to get a contract to stay in the sport. You have to train, you have to leave your family, so there's a lot that goes into it. So if you don't have the financing behind you, and if you're not one of the best in the world, you're not going to get the money to make the sacrifices that need to be made to be number one.
And I think family, you got to have a family that's going to support you doing these things. I mean, you can't train the way I know you must have trained. I mean,
I train hard.
You must have.
Yes.
But you couldn't have done that successfully without family support and them knowing that you needed to do this.
Yes, my parents, my mother and father knew that. They sent me off to college. They knew that I was going to graduate from college and also run. And they told me that whatever needed to be happen, that they would make it happen. So initially I didn't have a contract, so they had to pay for those plane flights. They had to get those hotels, and it paid off later on, but it wasn't always like that.
Your dad is the Joe Clark. For people who I'm sure will remember this from the 1988 movie Lean on Me, portrayed by Morgan Freeman. Wonderful, wonderful actor.
Great movie. Yeah.
First of all, how did that come about? Did the movie company come to you and your family? How did that start?
Well, the story goes is they saw a clip of my father, and the producer thought that it'd be a good movie. So they came and they talked to him about it. He didn't believe them, and he said, "You don't want to do a movie about me." So eventually they convinced him that they would, and Twain was his last name, and he ended up doing this movie back in 1988, as you said, and people still talk about the movie, and they still see it regularly every year.
Well, I went to, as I said to you, I went to a school board conference a number of years ago, and your father was a speaker.
Yes.
When he was finished, I was retired like 8 years out of teaching, and I was ready to go back to teach. I mean, he had me pumped up. I was ready to go.
Oh,
yeah, he did. I didn't, like you said, you don't know what you're going to do, but you know you're going to do something.
You're going to do something, absolutely.
It was very impressive.